Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jody. My husband David John and I have a small farm in the panhandle of North Idaho. These are our stories and adventures, so welcome to Moose Flats Farm. And today we're going to be working on planting all of our beans. I know it looks like a snack tray, doesn't it? It will eventually be. So go through the processes of how to do this, and it's the same whether you're planting your pole beans, bush green beans, or dry beans. So last night I went through and got them in these trays and have it labeled underneath so I know what's what, and have soaked them overnight. So it should speed germination. It takes about 7 days to germinate. And the spacing on them is between 6 and 8 inches apart. So I've done a staggered example here. I'll show you when we get to the point of planting these. And they get planted about an inch deep. So let's start getting some beans put in. So as you see, I've got it staggered. It's kind of block planting, square foot gardening. So in this area here, I'm going to be planting the black turtle bean, which is a dry bean. And then I've got my watered down red kidney beans that are going to go in the long row over there. And then the Jacob's cattle bean is going to go on the last row for the dry beans. So like I said, you want to plant them about an inch deep, so I'm going to use this guy just to poke my holes. Drop my little bean in. Go back and cover them up. I'm not going to dump or push the shavings back over them just yet. I'll wait till the green beans pop up. Or actually the beans, dry beans. So that gets that bed planted. So like I said, they all basically have the same regimen on how to plant them. Different varieties of like regular green beans. I've got the top crop I'm going to plant. And this one just says container bush. It looks more like a flatter than round green bean. Got the tender improved bush. Blue Lake Bush 274, and then the really cool Scarlet Runner beans. Don't have a package for these because these are seeds that I've been saving over the last couple of years. Then Blue Lake pole bean, so these are going to be climbers that will be going in the raised bed on the trellis. And purple pole bean, which the pods are purple until you cook them and then they turn green. So I'm going to just be doing the dry beans down here. In the 4 raised beds are going to be my bush beans and my pole beans. So I'm going to get this planted, and then I'll come back and show you something else that I've gotten done and what I'm going to do to guarantee that they're going to grow, because I'm not a gambler, and so I'm going to hedge my bet on this. So we'll be back for that in just a minute. Okay, so I got all the beans of different types planted. I'm gonna grab the camera, show you guys that. And then I did transplant my melons the other day. They look kind of iffy, so I did direct sow some seeds, and I cheated on the holes. Instead of trying to cover them because I kept filling with shavings, I went and got some of the black gold dirt just to put over them. So let me show you. And you may be wondering why I didn't plant in that area of those 3 beds. I did plant potatoes in there, so those should be starting to pop up through the shavings in the next couple days. But all of those dry beans planted. Next big project is to get this finished. But look at that guy take off. So we got all of those beds done. And I am going to be direct sowing some of the squash seeds, even though the plants look okay. Better safe than sorry, but let's show you the melons. Let's see what I mean by they look a little rough. So just planted some other stuff on the other side. Guarantee everything will grow then. Well guys, I'm really glad we got the garden planted yesterday because it has been raining for almost 24 hours. It's still sprinkling right now, and we're at about an inch of rain. So everything got watered in really good, and everything's just a muddy mess. But I did go through and do some work in the hoop house, so let's go check that out. Look at my poor wet birds. Even the ducks look like they're done with the rain. So out here I got some lightweight landscape fabric and have it pinned up as a shade cloth. Not necessary today, but it has been, like when it's high 70s out like it was yesterday, it was almost 100 degrees in here, which is not good for brassicas. And I'll show you this broccoli right here is one that I'd started from seed in the greenhouse, and it's one of the few that made it. Because of the heat in here, it's just going straight to bolt. Nothing else looks like it's bolting yet, but I figure get the shade cloth on up in here, so at least hopefully the stuff will go to fruition. Because it does look nice and lovely. And the peas haven't started blooming yet, but they're getting nice and tall. And the bonus, I got a bunch of extra landscape fabric that when I do the flower bed right here where the asparagus pots are, I can put the fabric down to block bindweed. Because lovely bindweed. But I did out here decide not to put the asparagus directly in the ground. It was just uber rocky everywhere I tried to dig, and then I remembered when we dug out the spot in the greenhouse, we just dumped all that rocky, cruddy soil there. So I'm just going to leave them in the pots and just stage them on the carpet right along there, because it'll help block out the bindweed that's growing and the knotweed. Before we leave the hoop house, let me show you something else David John hooked up for me to help keep it cool in here. So he's got these two, turn it on, oscillating fans that run off the solar collectors. Which really help keep it cool in here, because these two do move a lot of, there's a moth in there, a lot of air. Let's go look at the greenhouse. Haven't been there for a little bit, and it obviously, if the seed shed is changing, it has changed. And my nectarine that I planted out here, the first tree I planted this year, is just a dead stick now. It didn't make it for whatever reason. Come on. But looks pretty empty until you get over to this corner of the stuff that I want to plant in here. The basils and stuff will go out in the garden, but the tomatoes I'm hoping to plant in here. The horseradish is going to go just outside the window there. The echinacea and the milkweed are just kind of going to get stuck here and there. The stevia is going to go out into the herb bed and kind of plopped in different spots. But the peas, ooh, got my first pea flower. Yay! But these guys are doing really good. Very soggy barnyard. Well, this is where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you get some ideas on planting beans. I know, uber exciting, but it will be. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video for the next adventure.